Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I was going to do an update video on this. It's been a number of years since I put the epoxy on the shaft and kind of remachined the shaft with the epoxy on it and put a new seal in it. And honestly, has been working great. And that's why I was going to make a video about it. And well, now I've been preempted because well, I went to run it yesterday. Well, I ran it yesterday for about an hour or so and went to turn it on again later on at night to water another zone, and this is kind of basically what happened. It kind of just started humming, just had a hum to it, and I thought it was the bad capacitor, you know, the old standard, put a new capacitor in it, and I did that. And so I'll show you what it's doing here. Alright, so when you throw the breaker on, this is what it does. And it's pulling what appears to be locked rotor amps, regardless if the capacitor is not even hooked up. Just in that short period of time right there, it shut off on its thermal overloads. It doesn't smell burnt or anything like that. I think it's actually the centrifugal start switch, but I'm not totally sure. You can just hear that little click right there is the reset of the thermal overloads. So let me flip this around. Alright, here we are at the back of the motor here. And deep inside here you'll see a little white trigger switch right here. And that's attached to, kind of hard to see, there is a wheel down there that rides on. It looks, you can see it right there, brown phenolic type piece right in the middle of your screen there. If she'll focus, way down in there. And I have a feeling that there's something stuck in that switch. But the only problem getting that off of there is these through bolts right here that go straight down to the base right here have a nut on the bottom of them, and the only way to get the nut off is to remove these. And the only way to do that is take the front cover off, and the only way to get, once you get the cover off, then you got to take the impeller off. So you almost damn near have to disassemble. And I'm having a problem with my camera here. Okay, and so the problem will be is just to get that apart is it's going to be just a major disassembly. So wow, this will be a definite good time for sure. But at any rate, I'll see what I can do. One more thing before I totally get into it. It's definitely not pulling locked rotor amps. It's not locked up by any stretch of the imagination. You can actually see this a little bit better as I turn the shaft here. Let's see what we're going after here. The impossible piece to get to. Well, yeah, these are one of those things that can only be taken apart in just a certain sequence. You know, you got to take it apart like it's supposed to. You can't cheat the system and take this thing apart any other way. Fortunately, just the way she goes. So I guess it's going to be just like the old video, like the first one. You know, we'll knock the front cover off of here and take the impeller off and this, that, and the other. Not going to need these anymore. Let me get rid of this. Alright, let's take the front cover off. You can see it's been a while. Well, we'll see what this yields. Well, she kind of broke loose, but I think this is more the technique right here. Oh, crap. Then we'll remove the diffuser plate. Seems like there's a lot of sand in here for some reason. I don't, it looks like it's like fresh sand or something. It's really crazy. Huh. Now to remove the impeller. But if you remember, you gotta secure the shaft. Not really sure what's going on here, but it seems a little strange to me. I have to look at the other video. My memory's not that great, but there's the seal right there. But it seems like there's just a lot of this black residue. Yeah, I can't say that it's, I don't know that that's normal. But so I guess at this point we'll take the seal out of there. Get the old seal out of there and just see what we see. Well, it's not just wanting to come out of here just real easy. Like, it's hard to get even tension on it without a screwdriver pulling off. I could probably use some of those crow's feet type arrangements, but I think I might as well just better off just to take off these bolts over here and just let the housing kind of work itself off. Well, with a little bit of manipulation, this housing came right off of here, and lo and behold, things are looking pretty good, really. It's quite surprising. But yeah, it popped right off there. Relatively easy. And to the shaft now. Which, of course, as you remember, this was nothing more than epoxy here. It's a little rusty, but it's a remarkable situation. Okay, so these are the bolts I was after that I couldn't get the back cover off. This guy's right over here, back in there. But if you look at the shaft, alright, if you look at the shaft here, it kind of resembles a car with like a rust, the rust situation where you use body filler, because it's like there's a couple areas where it's not so terribly smooth. I don't know if I can zoom in on this a little bit here and give you an idea. There you go. You can see the work that I did. It actually held up really well. I was really quite surprised. You can actually still see the ceramic in that epoxy. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Well, thank God for anti-seize, because every single one of these came out. But I don't think they would have if I went to had the anti-seize on them. But they certainly did. Alright, ought to be able to just get this front cover off without any difficulty now that those are removed, I would assume. And that came right out of there completely. Take a look inside of here. I certainly don't see a burned armature here. Alright, got the back bearing cover off. This whole assembly here has got to come off of here. And it's all wired in conjunction with the voltage, I guess your voltage switch. What else you'd call that. But as you can see, the windings are definitely not cooked at all. I really believe the problem. And there's the thermal overload right there. Your clicks on thermal overload. This guy right here. And the start switch right here. And it's like there's no, I would assume that this should probably go like a micro switch. Click, 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 click. It's like there's really nothing going on there. I really think that's the problem. Okay, so I took this apart and literally the cover right here popped right off. There's a couple of bugs in there, but I don't think that was the case, and I still don't know what the problem is after looking at this. But if you see, the contacts right there are normally open, and this switch right here merely closes those contacts right there, the ones that are blurry in the picture right here. There we go. But so obviously it starts out in a start mode, and as it builds up speed it switches the other way. So I don't really know where the problem is here. I'm a little bit stumped. So the best thing I can do is put it back together again, I think, and maybe give it a test run again. I mean, I'm looking at these windings. I mean, there's nothing burnt, which is really kind of crazy. Unless, which I kind of doubt, unless I had a bad capacitor and bought a bad one. I kind of doubt that. Okay, upon a few tests and checks here, I've got my ohm meter across that switch, and like we had discussed, it should be closed. And if I just put a little bit of pressure on the plastic plate, it closes. So if it's off by just a little bit down here, it doesn't hit like it should. It just, I think, and I wish I maybe I could have checked that with the cover on, but possibly, or with it all put together, but I think the switch is just a little bit wore out. So let's make another test and check here. Well, my theory was incorrect. With a couple bolts in, I still have continuity, as I should, so let's just try to run it again. Alright, well, I've already tested it, and lo and behold, that was definitely the issue. Son of a gun. You can hear the switch even. So now what do you do? What do you do now?